I'm not sure I can do this. One of the rumours about this cave is that the Greek government were using it as a place to store nuclear weapons. Tomorrow I'm going to see if I can get my fortune told by a prophetic lunatic. Should be fun. Good morning from the Acropolis, just the Parthenon right behind me. You can tell why they built this up here. The view is unbelievable. And while I'd love to just stay up here all day and just soak in some history, I do have a couple stops in Athens before I have to start moving. But you know, I thought sunrise at the Acropolis would be a good way to start a video. So there you go. Imagine though the people who have walked up and down these steps before me. Right, sorry, let's go. Gotta go. Lots to do. Yeah. Even at the Parthenon, people are stopping and petting the cats. Okay. Apparently they're the best pies in Athens, so I'm very excited about it. With Athens below us, it's time to leave my new trusty steed and go in search of a paranormal cave. Yeah, I should say the road definitely ended. Look at all this white marble. There's also meant to be a strange, mysterious cave called Davelis Cave. It's a cave shrouded in mystery that, according to the book I read, even the locals are scared to go to. I doubt all that's true. There's certainly graffiti up here and a can of soda. Decisions. I am so happy to not be in Athens anymore. I've just driven from where I picked my car up here, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it was probably one of the most harrowing experiences of my entire life. Driving in Athens sucks. I am a little bit turned around. Let's not go as far as to say I'm lost. Apparently the water runs uphill here. That's what they say. And all the electronics go haywire. Is this even filming? There's no way to know until I get back. Here we are. Davelis Caves. Oh. So the legend is that it's called Davelis Caves because in the 1800s a brigand called Davelis used to hide his men up here. But it's been a sanctuary for hermits and different religious people for thousands of years. They knew about it 2,500 years ago because this is where they quarried all the marble for the Acropolis. The legend is that many explorers have gone off into the cave and in search of treasure, brigand treasure, and which is meant to be buried around here. I'm just saying, if I had a metal detector. And it's meant to have tunnels all the way into the nearby village because Davelis wanted to go and have a secret route to meet his lover. There's also lots of talk of satanic rituals happening up here. Apparently that's actually happened and people have been chased off for being weird and culty. And there's also ghosts and mysterious happenings in here. I haven't seen anything yet. Maybe there's something in the footage behind me. One of the rumours about this cave is that the Greek government were using it as a place to store nuclear weapons. But then it all got closed down mysteriously, and then when people explored it, they found a bunch of drugs used for cancer treatment. Everyone was like, what's happened here? Some type of paranormal government experiment? Can't rule it out. You can't rule it out, can you? And there's legends of, in ancient times, this being a place where they'd worship Pan 2,500 years ago. So there's always been an association here with mischief. It says that not many tourists make their way up to this cave. I can see why. It's a pain in the arse to get here. But worth seeing if you like weird stuff. built right into the rock face. The door's open, so someone must open the doors. I think this is a church to St. Nicholas. I think. This is the creepiest part of the whole place. There are certainly more modern buildings up here as well, though. They kind of look military, don't they? I was hoping this would be more than a shed. But what a mysterious shed we're in. Who knows what's happened here? I was hoping to find old military artefacts. Experimental procedures gone horribly wrong. But no. It's a broom closet. Nothing too paranormal. No ancient gods. No satanic rituals. No ghosts. And as far as I know, all my electrics are working. Worth it to come up here though, just for the walk and the view, if you ask me. It's lovely. Time for me to get back in my car and make our way to the next destination. I'm not looking forward to driving in Greece at all. Onwards and upwards, that's the motto of this channel. Keep moving forward. Good boy. Yes, yes, yes. I wanted to eat these pies in my room, alone, in silence. But no, I'm trying to find a scenic spot. I think I found one. Yeah. After what has been, frankly, a long and stressful, it's only been a few seconds for you probably, but it's been a very long and very stressful day. And I've been thinking about these pies almost the entire time when I wasn't worried for my life. That's twice the size I remember it being. The first one was the chicken pie, meant to be the best pies in Athens, so high hopes. That's pretty good. It's a 10 out of 10 pie. 10 out of 10. Maybe because this is the first thing I've actually eaten today, but still. Amazing. I mean, it's a chicken pie, but you know when nothing else will do? That's what that just did. And for dessert, I haven't eaten all of it. For dessert, we have the custard pie. I've got high hopes for you. I'll tell you right now, do not disappoint me. These were really worth the wait. What a day. Now, I'm going to sit here and look that way and watch the sunset. Oh, I'm in Delphi, by the way. Tomorrow I'm going to see if I can get my fortune told by a prophetic lunatic. Should be fun. Good morning from Delphi, and I'll admit it, a chilly morning in Delphi. It's cold. I mean, I guess we're in the mountains. They always say, come to Delphi for the archaeological stuff and hear about a priestess huffing gas, but it's so incredibly beautiful here. Amazing. The town of Delphi is just that way, and we'll explore that a little bit later. But I want to get to the archaeological site for when it opens. Yeah, I knew you couldn't resist. There you go. Ooh, good boy. Well, with such a warm welcome, I'm definitely off to a good start, I feel like. I've just got to wait for this museum to open so I can buy some tickets, which apparently are cheaper in winter. I've always heard about the Oracle of Delphi. Now I'm here. Not only that, I'm the first one here today. It is difficult to explain how important Delphi was to the Hellenistic world. It was discovered, and you'll love this, it's a great story, by a goat herder who was herding his goats off this hill. And all of a sudden they started bleating and being weird. And he's like, whenever my goats go over there, they start acting insane. And so he went over there, leant over this crevasse, started speaking in tongues. What's actually happening is he was being intoxicated by the gas. But everyone else thought, goat herders talking in tongues here? This must be a sacred site. This must be something. Let's start a monastery here. That's what they did. They built a temple here to Gaia. Originally this site was all about Gaia. The Mycenaeans, I want to say, were worshipping Gaia, the Earth Mother. Don't quote me on Mycenaeans. I read that and I think I remember that correctly. There's no way to know for sure. Later on, of course, the more classic Greek pantheon came into play, and they said this was where Apollo was. Something to do with Apollo defeating a giant snake near here. That Sphinx used to be here, and it looks from the pictures like it could have been a small Sphinx, but it wasn't. It was 12 meters high. Ginormous Sphinx. The Pythia, the woman, named after the snake, the Pythia would go into the special room to huff some gas, and Apollo would be speaking through a woman, which would have been unusual. And people from all over the Hellenistic world would have made the walk I just made to enter this, the temple of Apollo, to speak to the Pythia inside. And you could only do that on the 7th day after a full moon, I think is the way it worked. For a long time they didn't think that the idea of vapours coming out the earth and making the Pythia high was kind of debunked, because the first lot of archaeologists, modern archaeologists that came here, didn't find a fault line. And they were wrong, completely wrong. There absolutely was a fault line here, and there is gas coming up, or there was gas coming out of the ground. They think maybe the 7th day after the full moon was the exact right amount of gas coming up to get you high enough to talk to someone about something terribly pressing on their account, but not so high that you die. But Alexander the Great came here. Here, Alexander the Great walked down this path. He was kind of a mean guy when he came here. He didn't come on the 7th day after the full moon, but he was like, I want a reading. And they basically said, yeah, you're invincible. And he went on his way. He said, cool, I'm invincible, I'll take it. Oh, I can give you a cuddle. Yes. All right. Are you the Pythia? Is it you? Can you tell me what I need to know? Can you tell me what I need to know? Yeah? I've come here in search of meaning. That sounds like a joke, but I kind of have. Are you the meaning? Okay. Do I need to open a cat sanctuary? I think I'd kind of enjoy doing that. Should I? Now, I'm not saying that cat is Apollo talking to me through a cat, but I'm not ruling it out. You can still go upwards, so that is what I'll do. There are some great stories of people coming to the Oracle of Delphi, and when Xerxes was on his way over from Persia to lay waste to what he kind of considered Greece to be like a rogue terrorist nation on the edge of his kingdom. We think of Greece as the centre of the world. I do, a little bit. But to the Persians it was an annoyance on the outer rim of their sphere of influence. When the Spartans came here and asked, they said, what should we do? And the Pythia, the oracle, told them that a great leader will die, a great king will die. And it did. Leonidas died at the Hot Gates. But when the Athenians came and said, hey, what should we do about this whole Persia situation? The Oracle of Delphi just told them that they were all going to die. She just said, yeah, run away from them. You are going to die. Can you imagine the colour on their faces just seething out when they've come all this way to say, we need some guidance from Apollo. Yeah, you're going to die, mate. You're all going to die. Obviously, they weren't completely infused by that information, so they said, look, let's try this again. Let's talk to her again. Maybe Apollo's got some extra info on perhaps not dying. And Pythia told them, a great wooden wall will save you. Words to that effect. A lot of what the Pythia was saying was very Nostradamus-y, tarot reading type of stuff. It's all open to debate. A lot of it was riddles, which isn't what you want in an emergency. They thought that this idea of a great wooden wall was either going to be the wall around the Acropolis, or they thought it was going to be a wooden wall of ships, and they ended up banking on it being ships, and that is what happened. A wooden wall did protect them, because at the Battle of Salamis the Greeks won. They built enough ships, the Persians got into a bunch of shipwrecks beforehand, there was a big storm, and eventually the Greeks came out the victors and beat the Persians. The Persians did burn Athens to the ground later on, and they weren't thrilled about it, but she was right. The Oracle was right. Socrates came here, and I imagine stood exactly right here and spoke to the crowd at this little amphitheatre. The Oracle told him that no one was wiser than Socrates, and he, being quite wise, said, that must mean that everyone is equally as ignorant as I am, or that he's the only wise one because he knows how ignorant he is. Imagine you'd wake up the day after your reading with the Oracle, see the sunrise over those mountains, remember what she said and think, oh, I've got to go back and tell them the bad news. But above all and above the door was the phrase, know thyself. Anyone speaking to the Oracle wasn't going to get anything out of it unless they knew themselves. And that is still good advice, I think, today. It's all starting now. I beat them. I won. I beat them all. Way after they did all the excavation here, they found this pit of precious metals underneath a paving stone. This is why I want a metal detector. This was underneath the paving stone in a site that they'd already cleaned out. I could have found this and kept it for myself. I'd have donated some of it. You gorgeous creature! Delphi's a nice little town, emphasis on little, but everything's closed. Pretty much everything, all the shops, restaurants, bakeries. And I need some breakfast. Yeah, pretty much everything's closed. It's not ideal, but it is what it is, and there's always a solution to a situation. All day cafe. Just not today. I'll find something on the way. This next stop has Yesland written all over it. For better or for worse. I'm the only person on this road. It's not going all according to plan, mainly because I have absolutely no idea where I am. The motorway to Meteora is completely closed. They let me pay for a toll though, and then I got on the motorway proper. And then it was anyway, I'm over it. So we went, there's like a diversion, and a police officer stopped everyone to say, hey, where are you going? And directing you where you need to go. Only that was in Greek. And I don't speak Greek. I certainly don't read any Greek. When I look at Greek, it looks like an old ancient set of runes mixed together with a cheat code for a PlayStation 2. It'll be okay though. I've got my wits and my gumption and a rough idea of where I'm trying to get to. There's worse places to be kind of lost though. I didn't realise Greece was so full of beautiful mountains. I don't know whether you saw that, but now I'm behind a parade of tractors with flags. Tomorrow we're heading up there, so I'm excited about that. I wanted the mountains in the background, but frankly, that means the sun is also in my eyes. It's actually worse this way around, isn't it? But look, I've got a pop in a bar, and it's very, very unusual that I have two things that I've got no idea what they are at all. Now the white and blue can says it's about 0.5% alcohol, which is, I don't know, like drinking kombucha or eating too many pickles. But we're going to start off with nondescript white bar. Any guesses? There is a stick in it. Oh, I'm hoping this. I think it's just coconut. It's like coconut nugget. It's like the inside of a Bounty, but really pick. And they're fun because you can spend half your day chewing. This is good. So, the first mystery treat turned out to be a good one. What is this? Avesu? In the UK we have a drink called Shandy Bass, which is a kid's drink that tastes like sweet beer. It's also great. But yeah, it's like really tiny bit of alcohol in it. Yeah, Shandy Bass is just a sweet beer for kids. That's what this is. Maybe in Greece this is an incredibly popular brand of low alcohol beer for the designated driver, but it's refreshing and tasty. I'm going to drink the whole thing. Alright, this is where me and you say goodbye for the day, because I'm going to get into that bath and I'll see you tomorrow at the mountain. I woke up this morning in a little town called Kalabaka, which is about, I don't know, 350 miles away from Athens north. This was the road that my map told me to go down, but it's market day. So I've had to do a strange detour on these streets, but it's also market day. And it's bustling. Gosh, I love market day, don't you? The whole street smells like wood fire and citrus. It is a lot colder than I was expecting it to be. I was warned, but I was like, no, it's Greece. It doesn't get cold in Greece, are you crazy? It's cold today. I guess I'm in the mountains, and I know that if it's cold today, it's going to be much colder tomorrow. So I might have to do something about that. How much?
This is 15 euros.
15?
Yes, very nice.
This is super useful. I needed a jacket. It's not my usual style, but it is black, which I'm happy about. How does my parking job look? Legal? Semi-legal? I have actually no idea if you can park here, but there's another car over there. Surely you can park here. I'm assuming that means just in front of the gates. It'll be fine. Do we reckon this is the start of the path? There's no way to know. So where exactly am I? So this is Meteora, which means hanging in the air or something close to that. There's been monasteries here for, let's say, 1,000 years, but this has been a site, oh god, this has been a site of importance for a very long time. And yeah, all the signs that we see, if we see any more, are going to be pointing the opposite way to the way we're going, because I heard a rumour that the trail is actually better if you do it the other way around. So I'm believing internet rumours again. That'll be this way, right? Is there a sign there? Surely there is. Close enough. After these monasteries started being built, and towards the 1400s, Christianity in northern Greece was under threat from the expansion of the Ottoman Empire. So the monks decided to retreat to these hills, knowing full well who's going to bother to stop them. Where are they? Up on those giant floating rocks in the clouds? Yeah, let them have it. It must have felt like you were just a world away from everything else. You leave all your troubles behind. No, you've escaped to these mountains. 600 years ago, this was... I mean, you couldn't be more in the middle of nowhere. They look like all those Chinese and Japanese Zen paintings, where they built their monasteries. I suppose it doesn't really matter what belief system has inspired you or what you're following. The way to get there is always the same. It's go up a mountain closer to some serenity. There's two options, isn't there? Either this is beautiful, clean, refreshing, possibly spiritual mountain spring water, or it's the sewage runoff from one of the monasteries. Kind of has the feel and look of a video game. A secret hidden monastery perched high up in the mountain, like carved into the rock. I am very much hoping that we get to go up one, but if that's the one, I want to go up one that has a good panoramic view, because I feel like there has to be a way to the top here. There's a path leading this way. Where else could it be going other than the top? Maybe I can scramble up here. UNESCO World Heritage Site, don't you know? Might need to put the camera away for this bit. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, it's just a bit slick underfoot. Getting down's going to be the trick. Made it. Whew. I want to see if I can get to the top of that. This looks doable. I am going to be careful of the moss, because down there is certain death. And while this is exciting and all fun, I really don't want to hurt myself. So I'm going to do this as safe as possible. Absolutely worth it. I did have to go up on my hands and knees a bit. I'm glad that didn't make it to video, but gosh, look at this. Snow-capped mountains in the distance and these incredible rock formations. What a view. And hidden in between here are all those monasteries. I've never seen anywhere like this. I mean, that's slightly terrifying, but that's fine. Even if I don't get to see any more views today. This. Wow. You could paint the most incredible painting and no one would believe that what you were painting was real. Okay, back down here again. That should be exciting. I'm going to stay this way rather than that way. You get to watch me shimmy. Right, let's try to do this sensibly. My mother would kill me if she knew I was doing this. She watches the videos. Her and my niece, Autumn, who wants to be mentioned in a video ever so desperately. So I'll say hello to Autumn. Don't do what I just did, Autumn. Very dangerous. Whew. Awesome. What has happened is what I was secretly hoping would happen. I've been walking uphill basically non-stop for the last 25 minutes. And I thought, surely I'll come out in a monastery somewhere and not have to climb up all the steps. And there's a monastery below me. I can descend from the heavens upon the monastery, be revered. There's a road. There's a road. How? Some people just driving up to the monasteries. Anyway, you can do it, I suppose. How the hell do I get down there? I was wondering how Joanna Lumley got up here. That might not mean a lot to many of you, but she does some great documentaries. I want to be winched up. That's more than anything, frankly. Honestly, I've never been anywhere before that feels so much like the setting for like a video game or an anime. A mountain monastery complex with winches to get places and little huts and cabins and winding stairways so high up in the sky. It feels like a completely other world. A holy monastery of Grand Meteoron. It does sound a little bit like they're worshipping some type of Japanese mecha robot. Of course, there has to be some steps, doesn't there? You can't get away with no steps. This would be alright if I hadn't walked all the way here. What a place. You just know as well, up here somewhere in these mountains, there's secrets. There's secret caves, there's secret shrines and secret monasteries and secret tunnels. There has to be, right? I want to find some secrets. I bet the real treasure, the monastic booty, as they call it, hidden in the rock somewhere behind a trapdoor that no one will ever find. And then there's a huge cathedral built into the rock, full of treasure and mystery. Just me? No, it's got to be there, right? You know it's there. Costs €5 to get in here. But it's so cool, it's like a whole mountain complex. There's museums, there's art galleries, a carpentry workshop, I imagine a vestibule or two. Very unique. I've never been anywhere quite like this before. It's very much like a museum, really. This is the old kitchen. I'd have built bigger windows if it was me. There were 24 monasteries built up in Meteora at one point. I think only 5 or 6 of them are still active, open, running for business. And they're all manned by nuns. Holistic bee juice. I bet that's good. Even the view from the bathroom is pretty good. That's a funny painting. I want to do that. Be on a winch, hundreds of feet above the ground. Precariously on my phone. Oh, is this like an old brewery? Yeah. I guess they'd have to make their own monastic wine, wouldn't they? And that really is something that monks are into. I went into the inner sanctum and they don't allow any videos or photographs in there, but just so you know, probably top 5 most beautiful rooms I've ever been in my entire life. Unbelievable. Just incredibly delicate and intricate and ornate. My car's down there somewhere. I just need to ask someone for a lift back down the mountain. Happy couple, I just took their photograph for them. I don't need anyone. I'm a lone documentary maker. Don't need no one. I could do with a whole production team. If you're interested and you work for free and you can pay for travelling. Look, this is a great view. Wow. What an amazing place. The car is still here. That's a weight off my mind. Next stop is 2 hours away. Mount Olympus. Those bloody farmers from the other day. They blocked the bridge I needed and now I don't know where I am. I'm just gonna head towards mountains. Well, I'm setting off from the small village of Litoturo, I think this place is called, at the footsteps of Mount Olympus, which today we are mostly going to climb. I'm very excited. It's the home of the gods. The hike starts here at Prionia. It's all closed up. I think it'll probably be open later. But I tell you what, it's a lot icier and snowier than I had anticipated. I could do with some crampons. Yeah. It's just ice underneath. Mount Olympus. There could be a nymph behind any turn. I wish. I am fully aware that I am underprepared somewhat for this walk. Calling it a walk, first sign. But we're gonna see how it goes. I've got a destination in mind, but I'm just gonna make it as far as I can. If it can stay like this, that would be ideal. What a place, so shrouded in mystery and mythology. And which way is the path? There's some steps, I think, here. I'm just in awe. Hercules, Theseus, Perseus, they're all said to have come up this mountain in search of the gods, in search of answers. I was expecting the snow line to be further up at a higher altitude, not straight from the trailhead. And if this does become too perilous, I think I'm pretty sure I know where my limits are. Onwards and upwards, as they say. You also don't need to be Artemis to be able to follow the footsteps of other people, to do some tracking of where they've been stepping and which way the route probably is. Honestly, I think the way down is going to be more challenging. Well, without being on my arse the whole time. I mean, when you think of the rest of Greece, this just feels like a completely different world. And it does feel like you're walking out of the world of man into the world of the gods. It really feels that way. And don't get me wrong, they always say, well, why didn't the Greeks just climb Mount Olympus to see if the gods were there? Loads of Greeks climbed Mount Olympus. They found loads of like pottery and stuff at the top of almost all the peaks. Burnt offerings, sacrifices, that type of stuff. But once you get to the top, you're still not in the realm of the gods. That's a different place, right? This is just the entrance. My guess is the trail's that way, only because there's broken snow that way, and not that way. I am slightly worried about this, if I'm honest. Being underprepared and going mountain climbing. Okay. This'll help. Started off in Peronia here. We've hiked this trail and we're going to try to get to this refuge, the Agapitos refuge, which is here. I'd say we've done a third, not making bad time. It seems doable. It's funny to me that the handrails, there's like some handrails at some points and the snow is up to the top of them. In some parts of the trail it's 2 or 3 feet of snow, but in others it's just 1. So far this stick has saved me from falling down 20 times, easily. And we'll be keeping hold of this for the entire trip. Let's press on. That's us. It's these that are worrying. I'm keeping the stick this way because I think once I start, however I stop will be unpleasant. Just 1 foot in front of the other. It'd be lovely to look up at the mountains, but I won't be doing that for a while. Gosh, this is the worst bit so far. The snow is very deep. In part I'm just sinking right into it. I've got wet socks. Right, as great as this would be to film, camera away I think. I got really turned around at the gorge back there. I couldn't really see what the route was or anything like that, so I just decided to follow the most footsteps. And I decided that if I couldn't find a trail marker, I was going to turn back. But I found a trail marker, so I know I'm on the right path. But, you know, to be honest, that's cold. No one knows I'm on Mount Olympus right now. Certainly no one that can do anything to help. I've got no phone reception. The only sign of me being here is my car at the bottom. Like, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but this isn't without its risks. Yes, keep these coming. Wow, some sunlight. I like that. I'm worried about what impact the sunlight might have on the snow, but it's nice to see. I found some more handrail. It's a little low. I need a drink. Do I have delicious, refreshing water or the cheapest energy drink I could find? Gosh. Trail markers just about peeking out the top of the snow, thankfully. Walking on what's like a ridge now, so it's a lot, well, feels a bit smoother, a bit calmer, not quite as icy. I'm feeling very thankful for this part of the trail. One of the worst things about this is because the snow's so thick and deep. Every now and again you hit a hole and it goes up to your knee. Here it's that deep, and if I'm moving too fast or when I'm coming back down, if I hit one of those, I am a little bit worried about breaking my leg. Come on, Athena. Or Artemis. Artemis, that's the one we want, innit? Woof. Lend me your aid! And as if by magic, there is a bench. Glad I sat on that uncomfortable rock! I'm not sure I can do this. Gosh, if this one person hadn't have been here before me, I'd have absolutely no chance. I'd be completely lost. I guess in the snow it's just completely stopped being a trail and it's just... I don't know. I'm really lucky it's a clear sky. Yesterday the whole mountain was covered in clouds. And I suppose that could happen at any point. I'm realising this is more a battle against my mind than it's a battle against the mountain. There is a trail. I know it's doable. My map says I'm on the right path. I'm much closer to the top than I am to the bottom. I can do this. I know I can do this. Just one foot in front of the other. Take as many rests as you need. Keep on going. You can do anything that you put your mind to. I'm sure a famous Greek man said that at some point. I don't know who he was or when or what, but surely he did. Well, I found a little cabin. It's completely snowed in, so you can't get inside it. Not without a shovel and stuff, and I don't have anything like that. It says I'm 400 meters away from this cabin that I'm meant to be going to, this refuge. But the trail has gone completely dry. The footsteps I was following were going to this cabin. Those are my footsteps. I can only assume it's over this peak, but I'm not going to risk it. As far as I'm concerned, I have climbed Mount Olympus. 3 hours it's taken to get up to where I am. I'm hoping it takes 2 to get back down. And I can honestly say, physically, this is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. But I think it was worth it. Thank you so much for coming with me on this adventure across Greece. I really appreciate it. And all there is to do now is to make my way back down, which I'm kind of dreading. And then I'm going to drive to Athens. Until next time, everyone, be kind to yourself, stay safe, and onwards and upwards.